All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Warsteiner, and they're out of Warstein, Germany, and this is their German Pilsner. So this is a German Pilsner that comes in at 4.8% alcohol by volume, 28 IBUs, and at the time of review, I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, but it does have a best before date of December 14th of 2023, and we're just under 7 months away from that date, so this should be relatively fresh. So full disclosure, I've had this one before, like I'm sure many of you out there have had this one before as well. And yeah, it's always been to me like one of those more of here in the US anyway, like a budget German Pilsner where it's a little bit lower in terms of the cost. It's readily available. So that's why I picked this one up. As far as shelfy beer reviews for the month of May 2023 goes, I picked this one up. I was actually looking for their Dunkel, but the two places I went to, they didn't have it in stock. So I settled for this. And like I said, I've always remembered this one being pretty solid. So hopefully that is still the case. I mean, for the price point too, most places this is like $9 or $10 a six pack. It's hard to beat. Hard to beat when you want a German Pils, you know, that's pretty solid. As far as I remember anyway. We'll see. So let's give it a pour here into the glass. A little bit more aggressive there at the end. Yeah, it's beautiful. In the glass, it looks great. So yeah, the clarity's through the roof. I mean, I can see my hand through it. You should be able to see my ugly mug behind this glass. Crystal clear, that beautiful, crisp, golden yellow color. About a finger and a half of a soap sudsy, bright white colored head that's really not going anywhere. Hold it up to the light. It looks, I mean, that just looks absolutely fantastic in the glass, if we're being honest. That looks like a beautiful lager of some sort, and it's a German Pils, so ding, ding, ding. It's a good nose. So what's funny about this is there's a little bit of skunkiness, this being relatively fresh. And I did grab it, you know, off the shelf, so maybe, you know, maybe it was hanging out in the lights a little bit too long. But it's starting to dissipate. Like usually when a beer's skunky, unless it's like really, really skunky and been hit hard, after a first couple sniffs, it really just dissipates, and that's what's happening here. Now I'm getting a sweet malt sensation. It has more of like a crackery, biscuity kind of malt character. There's a little bit, a touch of like a grassy, herbaceous, almost spicy note from the hops. A little bit of a lighter fruit, like an apple or pear, more of like a red apple core. Maybe a touch of like a lemon zest. Slight sulfur note too, being a lager. Yeah, it is dissipated, and it smells just pretty solid. Like it smells like a good Pilsner. Like there's no off flavors other than that skunkiness, which is now dissipated. Just smells fine. Smells like a nice German beer, and nothing wrong with that. So let's get into it. Prost, everyone. So that's what I remember about this one. I didn't want to say it until I taste it. To me, the aroma was nice, right? But it was subdued, and the taste is the same way. Like there's no off flavors. There's nothing like bad about the taste. It's just when I get a really well-made German Pilsner, the flavors pop. The drinkability is there. It's balanced in the whole nine and everything, but like the flavors pop. There's a little bit more vibrancy and a little bit more intensity. This is a bit more subdued, which I think makes this extremely crushable and drinkable. Like, you know, if you're drinking a German Pils all day, you probably don't want something that's going to weigh down the palate. So I could see this working. For me personally, though, I'm not somebody who's going to take down a 12-pack of this. You know what I mean? I just don't. So if I have a bottle or two of this, I want more intensity to flavor. It's not like overbearing, because the style doesn't say, hey, punch me in the face with flavor constantly. But I don't know. I just want a little bit more flavor overall. Buying this one's like lower side of medium, approaching medium. Nice for 4.8. The mouthfeel, it has a nice crispness to it. This is a crispy boy. This is like moderately carbonated, but it's also quite smooth on the palate, so it's nice. The taste, malt sweetness up front, biscuity, crackery, dives underneath the palate, but it's kind of omnipresent. And a lot of times when I say that the malt dives underneath the palate, it usually doesn't stick its head up anymore at that point, just kind of props up all the rest of the flavors. Here it's kind of omnipresent, and while it's underneath, it's still noticeable throughout the course of the palate. Midway through, I get a little bit of fruitiness. I get like a lemon zest, a little bit of red apple core, maybe even like a white pear. It's not like substantial, but it's there. And then on the finish, I get a grassy, slightly herbaceous kind of touch of floral kind of finish from the hops. This finish is semi to full on dry. But another thing I noticed, and this varies from Pilsner to Pilsner, there's not a lot of bitterness here. This is a mild bitterness. I'd like to see this more mild to moderate, maybe a little bit more bitterness to kind of balance it out. Because this drinks with a little bit more malt sweetness in general. So this leans a little sweeter. Not substantially sweet. This doesn't drink like you're drinking like a 10% pastry stout or something crazy where like it's cloying and it's like 3 or 4 sips and you're like, oh my God. No, it just leans a little bit sweeter. It's like 60-40 sweetness to bitterness. So for me to really love this beer and go nuts over it and just be like, this is our, my go-to German Pils. And I know a lot of you out there, I've heard from people that really like this beer. And again, all beer subjective. Enjoy what you like. For me though, I would need a little bit more bitterness and just more intensity to the flavors. Not a ton, but just a little bit more. Knock it up like, kick it up 10% in terms of the intensity of flavors, 15%, just a little bit. And I think I would like this one a lot more. As is, this is a beer that I'd easily and happily drink again. There's nothing wrong with it in general. There's no off flavors I'm detecting. Nothing bad about it. I mean, the worst part about this was the original aroma where I got some of the skunkiness from the bottle. The fact is, to me, I never loved this beer. I still don't love it, but it's solid for what it is. So I'm not going to go crazy high on this one. Stylistically speaking, this is probably to me like a low 4 out of 5. This is like a 3.9. I'm going to go a little bit lower though for personal preference. Again, that's all. These beer reviews are personal preference. I know some folks will get angry that maybe I don't rate this a 5 out of 5 because it's their favorite German Pilsner. Then other folks will be like, I think that tastes like American macro beer, and I give it a 2 out of 5. Again, our palates are different. Enjoy what you like. I'll enjoy what I like, and we'll be fine. Anyway, Warsteiner's German Pilsner. I am going to give this a high 3.5 out of 5. I'm going to go and give this personal. Remember, this is a personal rating. This is not stylistic. Personal rating. I'm going to give this a 3.55 out of 5. It's the best I can do for this one. I just need a little bit more out of it, personally. And they also have ingredients: water, barley malt, hops extract. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm going to grab the Dunkel. I really like their Oktoberfest. That was good. And I remember enjoying the Dunkel. It's been such a long time since I've had the Dunkel. So I'm going to grab that at some point. Again, price point availability, it's Warsteiner. You can probably get it all over the world. Here in the U.S., you probably can grab this at your local grocery store. If not, like your local bottle shop, beer store, just go to the import section. You can find it. And price point, like I said, $9 to $10 a 6-pack here. I don't know outside of that. It might be more expensive in your neck of the woods, maybe cheaper. But if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. I'm going to have no issues putting down the rest of this one. I just want a little bit more. I guess the best way to sum up this beer for me personally, I just want a little bit more. That's all I want from it. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And I think I would really enjoy it. 4.8%, yeah, you really can't tell. So anyway, we're going to shut it down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.